Detroit Love with another video. Today we're going to be talking about the Pro, the KI Killer Instinct Pro. I got my buddy here, your average gamer. Want to get his thoughts on the subject. How you doing, brother? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you and Merry Christmas to everybody here, man.
Yeah. So I think we might have Mad Daz joining in once he gets himself situated. Um, so I'm just pretty excited about this KI Pro. I've never really played KI. It's not a game I grew up with. I know every time I did a custom build for someone, with the Raspberry Pi, probably did about a dozen of those over the years, and people always ask, "Can I play KI? Can I play KI?" I'm like, no, it's not going to happen on these things here. So I've always known that there's a lot of interest in it, especially in people of your age. It apparently was a game that you guys had more readily available. I had kids and obligations when KI came out, so I never really played it. What's your thoughts on it?
Well, first of all, like you said, when you're building one of those multicades, that's one of the first questions that come out. Like, can it run KI? Is that can it run KI? Can it run Marvel vs. Capcom 2? Those are the most um, taxing games. So if you have an awesome build, they'll be able to run that. Raspberry Pis, if you max it out, tweak it a little bit, you can. But that was the whole thing about one up being able to get that to run off of their cheap ass chipsets. Like they got this to run and run smooth. So that was a feat in itself. And it's a really big 90s game, like very bombastic. The soundtrack is probably the best soundtrack of any fighting game or game period. Like it really is a great one, and it would slip the test of time. So it wasn't my jam per se in terms of the game itself, but that soundtrack is so iconic. It brings you back to being into the arcade. So when it came and it was the right price, I was like, I gotta jump in.
Okay, so the question: which cabinet did you get? You have the
I
standard
got the
or
OTG peasant version. So I you know I got the bad boy. When it dropped down to that 299 price point, I couldn't resist.
yeah,
At three
that
ninety
two.
nine I thought it was good, but 299 I was like, damn, I gotta get in.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. The 299 it just makes it quite impossible to not buy it. Right, 299. I almost bought one, and I had the Pro coming. You know, because I just wanted to try it out. But for that price, obviously, it it, you, it just always confused me why Arcade went up, introduced the Pro, and then reduced the price at the same exact time. I'm sure that was a deciding factor for a lot of people. Like, wow, $700 difference. Do I need to?
You know, Detroit Love, that was a hard one for Arcade One Up. I think they had like that was an uphill battle to fight, right? This is the first cabinet that reached over $600. It was $699. You had that going. Then you had the fact that you are announcing a pro cabinet at the same time. So you're like, should I just hold out or should I do this? And and then it's a very niche game. It's a niche within a niche. So you're it had a perfect storm for it. So and on top of that, no spectate mode when it first came out. So it had an uphill battle, but I'm glad that it's having a renaissance within the home arcade community because of that price point dropping so much and so much hype over this pro cabinet.
Now we're going to get into this Pro uh, a little bit longer, but since we're talking about price cuts, we can't talk about it without talking about Blitz, right? The Sam's Club version. As you know, the Sam's Club uh, Blitz cabinet, NFL Blitz by Arcade One Up, uh, went on a price reduction. Now this is the one with the stool. All the other stores have the standard cab. They're all still selling theirs at 499. But Sam's Club, being the buying powerhouse that they are, they purchased a lot of these things, and they wanted to get people. There's people that got new memberships just to get the cabinet right. There's people that took advantage of it. There's people like me who paid full price for the cabinet, but were able to get the price adjustment because that's how Sam's works. And so I definitely recommend getting any cabinet that's available from Arcade One Up that's available through Sam's, simply for that reason. If the price reduces, they'll give you the difference. And Sam's Club always gives you a bonus, right? With the Mortal Kombat, initially they had the stool. This one has the stool, so they always have something that's added, which is usually not announced, right? It's not announced when the pre-orders go in. It's not announced when it goes out to the other retailers. You just sort of kind of wait and see if it's going to be available. But the Blitz has been down to under $200. I know you're a fan of Blitz. I know you have an owner. You own one of the cabinets. Did you pre-order yours from Arcade One Up? Did you get it from one of the other retailers?
Oh no, one up sent it to me for retail for review,
Okay.
and so I was already on it for Best Buy, but that was canceled after I received it. But dude, you cannot at that price. First of all, if it was a cab that had no online and it was just that cabinet at that price, you'd have to scoop it up. But for it having all three games online now, you're getting a stool, you're getting all the bells and whistles. Man, that is a steal. You're basically stealing from them. And Sam's Club, aka Walmart, they have that big D energy because they buy in so much of a bulk. They probably make their money the first month of selling the cabinets, and then
No.
thereafter this is just gravy. And so they know that it's going to probably be a tougher time for them to sell those units after this football season. There's only 3 weeks left. They're like, yo, let's get it out of here. You got Christmas. You have the season being almost over. They probably go on another sale probably during the Super Bowl because there're going to be a bunch of people in there getting all their snacks and stuff for the parties and stuff like that and buying big screen TVs. So it made perfect sense for them to do so. I don't think you're gonna see it at other retailers, dropping that price because they probably didn't buy as much as the Walmart. It may be a little bit down the line, but if you got that by you, one of those Sam's Clubs, it's worth to jump in there and see if you can get the floor model. I mean, Bobby Vu, he paid 50 cents. He got the floor model.
Yeah, he is always going to find a deal. Now, Mike Hawkhurst says here the only real downside of Blitz outside the initial online issues and the price is the marquee is so
Yeah.
washed out. Yeah. Now, I must say it is a little faded, but it doesn't. I've seen worse
Yeah.
marquee.
Oh.
Uh,
Remember, we remember the original, the OG days. Like they weren't that great. But it is confusing when you come out with like we're at the point where the marquee for Mortal Kombat came out and that was pristine. Why do we go 5 steps forward and then 3 steps back?
yeah.
Like I don't
Yeah, it doesn't.
understand
It
that.
doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's like, can you get a consistent vendor or a process, right? I mean, you have the 3/4 scale locked in, right? You can reproduce these. Is what? Why is the marquee so different? Why can't you produce blacks that are black, right? It doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, but obviously they've listened to us in a lot of areas. That's why we even have backlit marquees, right? Initially, you didn't have them. They didn't even think that was important enough for you to even light them up, and we've expressed that to them enough where they got that. But I don't get it. But the Blitz is tons of fun. I didn't play Blitz growing up. I took a chance with it. I purchased my Blitz in November, so that was well after it was released, well after it was known that it didn't have online, all these things, no late hits. The list goes on. But I took a chance, and I love it. That's the best cabinet in my arcade. We were playing yesterday for Christmas Day. We had the game on. We sitting there playing. I was on fire with my team. I was kicking my daughter's boyfriend's butt, and we were just having a lot of fun. He's never played. He's like 20, early 20s, right? It's not a game he obviously played, but he had a ball with that, and so we played it until they started calling us for dinner or whatever the situation was. But Blitz, man, I paid $6.29 with the stool, right? So I got over 350 back from Sam's Club. It was well worth it at the larger price, but hey, 350
When
still
you get that extra money back,
right,
but you know
right.
what? So one of the things. So first of all, this game is an easy game to just pick up and go. You got a person that never played it before, 20-year-old probably playing it, and he's enjoying tons of fun. It's just that. But on top of that, do love is that I the sad thing is I think that this is probably Arcade One Up's best cabinet, and it's got the most smoke. Like it had a uphill battle. You know, you came out, you didn't have online, you didn't tell anybody that you wasn't going to have online. So I think it would have been a different story if you were just upfront and say, hey, during launch, this is not going to be online. We're working on getting it done. It will be done, just not on launch. And I think that would have went a long way with the community. But unfortunately, they didn't. The fortunate part for everybody else is we got a great price deduction, because if that didn't happen, these things wouldn't go on price on sale.
No, I gotta say, when I got my NFL Blitz, I had to get rid of the evidence real quick, so I didn't pay too much attention to the box. Okay, I had this big box down here in case my wife comes down to the man cave, you know. Um, but I was looking at the box the other day. Nowhere on the box does it say anything about online play. Doesn't
It
say
just says
online.
online enabled. That's all it says.
Right. It says online. It says Wi-Fi enabled. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now online, maybe it says why? Because a lot of people was making
No, online it does say that, but on the box it doesn't.
right, right. So again, we're talking about hardcore fans, right? That's going sitting on their website. Most people are buying it from Walmart's, Best Buy, all these retail stores. They don't even know who Arcade One Up is until they get these things home, right? So people were saying that this is a blow on the home arcade market. That people didn't get what they wanted, but the reality is the regular consumers didn't know that you could play online until they got it home, plugged it up, and then they got that message saying, "Hey, online is not available yet." Right. So I just want to make that clear that it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't on the box, so nobody went into the store and saw it for the first time and bought it thinking that they had online play. Uh, but enough about Blitz, man. Blitz is a fun game. If you didn't get it, you missed out. If you were upset that it didn't have online and waited, you could have got lower price if you're a customer of Sam's Club or a member of Sam's Club. If not, they're available everywhere else for $5.99. So that's a much bigger price set. But to me, it's definitely worth it because it's tons of fun. Playing against a computer, playing against somebody next to you. I still haven't had 4 people playing it yet. I've had 3 is the highest I had playing. And then online, obviously, it's a lot of fun too. But I want to talk about this pro. So my pro is coming tomorrow. Um, my pro is coming tomorrow. It says before it's 9 p.m. So probably by the time I get assembled, it's probably have a video on Wednesday firsthand. But there's a lot of videos out there about the pro currently, that have some people have a lot of things to say about it. And this is your boy OTG right here. He said he had trouble just doing basic moves. Now there's a lot of talk about whether they had the pseudo hap ultimates or competitions that should have had. Arcade One Up on their website simply said we're going to have pseudo hap joysticks. They didn't specifically say whether they're competition grade. People make some assumptions about that,
Mm-hmm.
but obviously there are some different options with those joysticks. Um, so I wouldn't give them too much slack based on that. But if the if you're not able to do actual moves on it, that would be something. Now, do you have any trouble with your standard
Oh,
poor
this
man's KI pulling off these moves or combinations?
so this is a point in time where they started getting better, and those sticks on the standard one, I didn't have to change it. I didn't have to swap a button. I mean, this is not my forte game, so I didn't care about the button so much. But that joystick, the joystick is pretty good. They've gotten better from there on. So between this and the Yoga Flame, the sticks are good. Now, me and OTG speaks every day, and he was kind of taken back by that joystick. It's a Suzo Hap clone, I believe. So, Suzo Haps are notorious for having bad inputs or whatnot. From what I've had in conversation with Retro Ralph about this,
Okay.
and so, um, it sounds like for a few more dollars or cents on the dollars, they could have went to the better version. And so that's a little disheartening for Arcade One Up, because I mean you're paying for the pro, so give us pro. Give us pro options.
Okay.
And the fact that they listen to almost everything else that we did. Like we asked them, hey, make these buttons on the coin doors work. Give us a light up coin door. Give us a marquee. Give us pro controls. Give us a bigger screen. And they did all those things and they made it larger. But it's always something that they could have improved upon, and it looks like the bigger opportunity was the joysticks. Give us pro controllers. Don't give us clones.
Okay.
If we're spending this kind of money, we'll spend a couple more dollars if we get the premium.
Now, before we move on, just want to acknowledge Council Fanboy. Thank you for the super chat, $10. Happy holidays, D Love. Wishing you amazing 2023. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Now, they're not clones. They are pseudo hap
No,
joysticks.
they're clones of pseudo hap. They're not. I don't believe they're the actual ones.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Kind of like if like the iArcade, they say that they're San Juan clones. They're not. So I believe these are clones.
Okay, yeah. So I didn't get that from what I've heard. I just heard these were the ultimates versus the competition. But then there were some issues with maybe the switches on it. So that if the joystick is real, but they put on different switches, I won't know until I see tomorrow. But so
We definitely know they're not cherry. They're not cherry switches. We know that for a fact.
right. But I think so. I I don't know all the history of the switches. The history of Hap Pseudo, but apparently their Hap initially was the American company, and then they got bought out by Pseudo and they became Pseudo Hap, and then they sort of started cheapening their products
Yes.
based on what I've heard. So a lot of people are doing the European
The
joystick.
Lorenzos. The
Right,
Lorenzos.
right,
If you're gonna go with the Hap, that's the way to go. Again, it's only a few dollars more, but it
yeah,
makes a ton of difference.
right. And they were the supplier of the initial Hap joysticks, but then when Pseudo and Hap joined, they started cheapening out the supplies. Now, so let's take a look at. See, I have behind me. I have the Big Blue. Now, a lot of people bought the Big Blue, the standard cabinet. Like you said, the joysticks were better than what, say, like the Street Fighter, the initial Street Fighter, and other cabinets. But still, some people chose to either replace them or even go so far as to get the Bobby Boo to die for
Mm-hmm.
total customized thing because they're serious about their fighting and they wanted that. So no matter what they put on there, you're still gonna have those people, right? Still gonna have those people that's gonna say, I want the best joystick the money can buy to go onto my cabinet.
Well, so John D pointed this out before about the reasons why they didn't go premium before, because there's going to be people that like San Juans. There are going to be people that have competitions. There are going to be people that like the Lorenzos. So whichever one you pick, you're never going to win, right? And then there's certain games like, though the joysticks were better on the Big Blue, you have to hit those things precise. They're that one of those old school games. So to have competition on that is I think essential, for at least for the average gamer and whatnot. But you know, no matter what they've done, they not everybody would have been happy. That's the big idea, I guess.
Okay, so my question was, they're calling this the Pro, but based on a lot of feedbacks, is it really a Pro cabinet or is it just a XL? Is it just an XL Plus? Right? We know the XLs. Now, so this is the KI. This is what you have, the classic. We're not gonna call it the poor man's version. We're gonna call it the classic, right? It's a $300 difference from it. Now again, you got it for $299, but the standard price if you buy it outside of Arcade One Up's website is $699. So a lot of people are saying they think the Pro should be $699, but that's kind of not a good point because even the XLs are $699, right? So you can't say if the XL is different than the Pro, then they can't be the same price. But is this Pro, what they're calling the Pro series for the KI, is this technically just a XL series or XL Plus. They gave us a little added bonus
I,
over the XL.
I would say it is pro because you got the IPS screen, you got the semi-pro controllers. The buttons are legit. That joystick, a little bit left to be desired. You have the little add-on additions like the button
Coin
for
door.
the coin doors and the light up stuff, and then the sheer height, and that upgraded marquee. But again, you got that same kind of marquee on the XL. But I would say this. I like that they've doing a different price structuring. There's a little bit for everyone, but I still think that the Pro is probably a little bit too expensive. I think that sweet spot would probably be $799. Give me $100 difference from the XL, giving me a little bit better options in terms of the screen and the sticks. I think it's worth it, but the 999, I think that's kind of a hard pill to swallow. That's a G. That's someone's mortgage payment, couple of car payments. That's a little expensive.
Now the 999. Obviously, this is just for these 500. So we don't know if they're going to make additional ones. We do know that with any model of arcade one up, the first generation, we know the later ones are going to be better, right? I mean, that's just given. They're going to learn from it, and so next one. So buying the first Pro series cabinet, I already know personally that in whether it's 6 months, a year, there's going to be a new Pro, whether it's a Pro Killer Instinct or I'm sorry, Street Fighter or Pro,
Oh, Street Fighter coming. They love themselves some Street Fighter. That Pro
yeah.
coming.
So the Pro Street Fighter is probably going to have the proper joysticks, right?
I would hope so. I hope they learn from this mistake and be like, "Yo, let's pay a couple of extra more dollars and have joysticks that are going to work."
Yeah, and now see this is where now again we talked about the Blitz where if someone at Kmart's or Target picked up this thing, they don't know what to expect, right? It's like, oh man, Blitz or oh KI, wherever they pick up these cabinets. But this population here of the 500, the majority of this 500 are die-hard arcade one-up fans, right? These aren't somebody just walking off the street buying, they're surfing the web and like, oh, what's this arcade one-up.com? Oh, $1,000, here you go, right? That's not the reality of that. These are die-hard people. So it just seems just wrong that we would be having these issues given the die-hard group that they're selling these first 500 to, right?
Well, you know that these are going to be the people that are going to nitpick everything on these, right?
Right.
You know that coming in because, like you said, these are the diehards, and these are also the collectors of KI. Like anybody who has anything KI heard about this, they jumped on this. So between those two, you needed to kind of hit this out the park so you won't have any negative press. And unfortunately, it doesn't sound like they did.
Yeah, but again, it's not everybody that's gotten the cabinet. So again, there's positive reviews out there. The main things that people are talking about where they have the issues are and with Tom Wilson. Todd Wilson said the fluff. That's the brown or the oranges things here. They're saying, and I think you would agree, if the 999 is justified because you have this fluff, right? So then let's get rid of the metal tin, right? Let's get rid of the faux chrome trim.
You got to believe that they said like, okay, this is the amount that we got to get, no matter what. So how do we get it to that? We add all this other extra stuff. No matter what, I don't think the price was going to change for them, but they're trying to give you value for that $9.99, regardless if they did or didn't. That's up to you. Personally, I think it's like a couple of $100. If $7.99. I'll swallow the pill, but $9.99, that's kind of a hard pill to swallow for me.
So when I think of a pro cabinet with the current vendors, I think of IRK as far as build quality, right? And so the build quality, they use the cam locks, right? So they use the cam lock, so there's no screws exposed. I thought that the pro would at least go that route. They gave you screw screw hole covers this time with the Pro, which they didn't have that listed, but that's been found out since people have been receiving them, and that's good to have because I always have to put some stickers over mine. Um, but I would have thought that they would have had thicker wood like the IRK, have cam locks so that you, because now this Pro is essentially like the IRK, right? It has the base, and then you sit the top on it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so it just makes sense. And then the IRK also has the same color rear panel, which I despise that brown or beige back cover, even though you technically don't see it, but you do move these things around. Why not put the same color all the way around like IRK did with theirs? I think that would have been a better Pro model, and they're able to do it. I don't know what the gold edition I think is like $800 at least, right?
Mm.
So you still not
799 right now, I think.
right. So $800. So if they're gonna do that, and IRK sells a lot less cabinets, right? You imagine their margins are as big as IRK. I'm sorry, RK One Ups is. So RK One Up clearly can produce the same cabinet and probably at a lower price because of the volume that they're buying. But yet they don't see a need to make the cabinet itself a pro cabinet. They just enlarge the same cabinet.
It's kind of hard to say because Arcade One Up does so many things right, and then they do some things that are so stupid. Like you haven't seen it yet, but the packaging for this, they really went the extra mile in terms of make it feel a premium. Like the box that they come in, it has little symbols and tell you, okay, this is for the Wi-Fi. This is that. It's embossed the
Mhm.
boxes, so it really feels like it gives you that premium feel. But then, like you said, that color in the back, it was an easy fix. But it's probably what, a few cents per unit to do that. Why not, do that? They do so many things right, but those little things that they do wrong, it adds up. And so I don't know why they don't do it. I wish that they took a little bit more feedback. It's again, I think they'll get it right eventually, like you said. It just takes like second or third generation. Like we haven't got to the perfect one until we got into the third gen of the 3/4 scale, and we still have a couple of misses every now and then. But I hopefully over a period of time they will get this over. I think this is more of a proof of concept for them. This Pro, like, is there an appetite for it? What do we need to get fixed? Do the people like what we have so far? And I think that the next one will be that much better.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. But again, the people shelled out $1,000 feel that it should have been done now. Now, when they announced it, people kind of assumed that they haven't built it yet, right? It's not built yet. They announced this way back in January, right? Initially of this year, but no timeline on when it would be available or if it would be available. Uh, but that it was, they just sort of snuck it out there so to get some reactions to it. But the timing of these deliveries indicates that these were already built before they ordered them, right? It's not like they held off. Maybe they threw in the screw hole covers. I think that's the only thing that's really changed from what they announced. Is that the fact?
I gotta say that these probably were built like 6 months ago, and that they were probably just waiting on the monitor. Like, can we source a monitor that's IPS? Like, because I guarantee you, they probably was gonna come out with the monitors that were in the XLs, and they saw that big backlash, and they're like, "Nah, we can't do that. This has got to be a Pro. If we come out with a Pro with a shitty monitor like that, we will be crucified." So they probably waited till they can get the those IPS monitors at a decent price. They were able to get it, and that's probably what was the holdup for the last few months. But the shell itself for this cabinet probably was done already. Like you gotta remember, a few months back when the Blitz was being showed at the toy store, they already had the Ki Pro in the stores, in that store. So they had that there. That and it looked exactly the same. Nothing probably was changed, but like you said, the screw hole covers. So they were just waiting for that monitor to get produced.
Okay. Yeah. So mine comes tomorrow. So again, I don't think this thing, what I've heard, nothing in what I've heard, make me regret purchasing it. I think the cabinet, sure, the height of it looks really nice. Uh, I think it's going to look well in my arcade. I got to figure out where I'm going to put it. Um, but I'm still excited about it. I did order some ILs to swap them out. I think it was like $35 for two of them. I did get some cherry switches for the buttons, so I'll see if there's a real difference from a novice because I'm not a big fighter. Um, but if it's going to make people enjoy them coming into my arcade and playing, I think it's worth a look. And again, we're talking about $35, right? And that was with shipping, I believe. Um, so I I hear what people are saying. The fatigue met. I think they missed it on the orientation of that. It should have been landscaped. I don't know what they were thinking on with that at all. But I do like those. I got my feet on the mat now. All of my cabinets have some type of support because I have a cement basement floor, so I don't wear shoes in my house. So I'm barefoot or I have house shoes on. Uh, so I definitely like having something softer under my feet when I'm standing, and I like to stand. The stool, um, I have probably five stools here. Most of them came with the cabinet. I think it's probably half and half. Half I bought, half came with the cabinets. So I have stools for other people. I typically don't use the stools myself, but they look really nice in the thing, and people do use them, especially when the kids come and play. They're shorter. They're going to need that cabinet. So the 10, I don't have walls in my basement here, so I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Um, but again, I don't think that it shouldn't come with these things or came with. I don't really have an opinion either way, just regarding the fluff. But it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it, in my view, for that price. But if I could have got this cabinet for $700 without that stuff,
You would have been
then
happy.
I would have been right.
D Love,
Indeed.
you got a good question right here. 36D says, "Why would you buy the Pro if you're just a novice?"
And I've said this before. I'm a fan of the arcade, and so if I had to be one of these 500 to buy this so that we see a future in the development of this, right? I want to support the future of the pro cabinet. I want to give my input because they're going to be selling these to people like me. The die-hard people, they're a small group of people. That's not who they're making these cabinets. None of these cabinets are made for that 1% of gamers that, what I mean? It
But
has to be.
you don't think that's the case for the Pro? Because I don't see like a casual person jumping in on that at that price point.
See that's what that's where I disagree. Because if you look at it, a person who buys a real cabinet, right, wherever it is, are they necessarily diehard, right? I mean, none of the people that buys a regular cabinet or these aren't like convenient items where you're picking up a magazine, some chewing gum, and a Pac-Man cabinet, right? These you have to make a decision, serious to whether it's $300 or $600, right? These aren't, I mean, you're talking about PlayStation. It's a lot of different things that you can buy for your game room for that price. I think the Pro is it's trying to get more authentic to the arcade, right? Which I think is what the most people want. Again, if you look at even the Blitz with the coin door edition, remember, they hadn't had those long. That makes a huge difference. Now, I added the lights, which you can see back there on the Blitz. Is night and day from looking like an authentic cabinet, right? So I think the more it looks like an authentic cabinet at a price, I think anything under $1,000, the people that are looking to buy arcade cabinets, that's still a steal when you compare that to $2,000 or $3,000 for a real one. Or even if you look at any of these things, I get these ads that pop up on my Facebook all the time of these different companies that sell arcades. They're multi-Ks, of course, but these things are $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. for these cabinets, and even like the countercade, they're like the size of the arcade without the base. They're selling things for $2,500, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the people that's interested in having the arcades are used to paying way more than what our arcade one up sells these cabinets for, and they look nothing. They're not attractive in any fashion. They're just functional
Do,
arcades.
do love you make a great point because I remember right before arcade went up, if you were looking for one of those multi-cades and they're like, oh, I got like 5,000 games, something like that, they were like $5,000 in some cases. Sometimes you'll see them around 3,000, and really you could see the difference in terms of quality at that point. But a decent one, a really good one, was about $5,000, like one of those mega ones. And so we complain about the prices, but when you think about some of those other ones,
Yeah,
you
there's no
start thinking about
comparison.
that.
And even like JC over at Tulsa Arcades, really good friend of mine. He makes his own arcade cabinets. He initially started off selling modified arcade one ups. Then he started working with a dealer to get the cabinets and making them. And then he started making his own cabinets from with the CNC machine. But even his machines, if you compare his cabinets that he makes, they'll be around $800, just raw, no monitor, no gaming system, right? You know what I mean? Now you got to put a monitor on.
You
You got
got
to
to
put
source
your
all those
control.
other parts.
Right. You got to source all those things, and that's why those things are so expensive because you have to know what you're doing, or you have to pay somebody to sell it to you. That's turnkey, right?
Either you're paying for all those parts or you're paying for someone's time that
Right.
you don't have to do it.
Right. So you either have to know what you're doing, buy all the parts and build it yourself, or you buy it from somebody that knows how to assemble it right and give you a turnkey solution. So if you can buy a product like this Pro from Arcade One Up, where you just turn the thing on and can play a very authentic game, and it looks really nice and attractive in your thing, I think $1,000 for the majority of the people. Now, again, see, you guys are looking at it from the standpoint of this is your fifth, sixth, eighth, 10th cabinet.
This
Right.
might be the one and only a person buys.
Right, right. For the majority of people, they're only buying one cabinet. So $1,000 is not that big of a deal for them for that one cabinet. When it's like you said, this is the cabinet I grew up with. This is my thing. They don't even think about it. They don't even think about whether it's Blitz, whether it's KI, whether it's Street Fighter. You know what I mean? It hits a nerve with them. And again, if it looked like the original cabinets that came out in 2018, no backlit marquee, no coin door, no, you know what I mean, these cheap buttons, all this stuff. Yeah, of course you're not getting anything more than that. For people to be saying, "Oh, I think the price of these things should be $400," that's so ridiculous. You know what I mean? For people to be saying, "Oh, it's the down of the arcade market, the home arcade market, because Sam's Club, one a retailer, is reducing the prices when they probably bought these things for $100 a piece." You know what I mean? It's just outrageous to people. But people are entitled to their opinions, but these opinions don't carry a whole lot of weight in reality.
So Mobile Decay, is preaching what we just said. Like he only has one cabinet and one cab. So see, there's gonna be people like that. There's like if you see your dream cabinet, right? Like let's say mine was Blitz. He came out at $599. I'm gonna suck it up and I'm gonna buy it. But if I'm 10 cabinets in and Blitz is not my cabinet and it came out at $599, like fuck that. I'm not gonna buy that. But 3 weeks, 3 months later, 4 months later, it's down to 199. Then I can do that. So I mean, to each their own. There's I'm sure there's a sweet spot. There's people that's in marketing that's looking at what the prices are. Sometimes they experiment. Like obviously the KI original one was an experiment for $699. That experiment didn't go so well. The cabinet didn't sell that much. That's why I had to drop down that price. So you're going to see influxes of the prices until they get it to a sweet spot where they see more buys than not.
Yeah, the market is always going to dictate the price, period. Because you can, as a retailer, you buy X amount of cabinets. If they're not moving because you have this physical space, that's these are big boxes, especially Blitz. I did a funny building. I'm sorry, a funny video the other day with my daughter and my neighbor trying to move this Blitz box that got delivered to my house from Sam's Club. Those things are That one's 89 pounds, 88.1 pounds. The Blitz box. This Pro is 137 pounds, whatever. Those things are huge. So you got those in any store. They're in the way, right? They're in the way. Whether you're at Sam's Club when they're on pallets and you can move them around, or you're at a Target and they're sitting on the shelf somewhere. These aren't things that somebody just
You
grabbing
know,
and throwing into a buggy at 137 pounds.
the number one cost for any retailer is space. It's space. There's like for the shelving that Pepsi pays to be on that eye level in the supermarket, they pay
Mhm.
top dollar. They're paying the supermarket or Walmart or whatever so they can have that
For placement.
space. They're paying them. So you see when Arcade One Up does their deal with Walmart, they're like Walmart says, okay, you pay for the price, blah 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 blah. But after a while, it's we need the space back. We have other products coming in. We're losing money holding these on the shelf, so they're going to drop their price to get it out the door.
Right, because again, they're not buying these at the price that they're selling them. Obviously, they're gonna make money, right? So Arcade One Up is selling these. So people think, oh, Arcade's going through this. Arcade's already made their money when they sold them to Sam's, Target, Best Buy. Arcade doesn't lose money because a retailer sells it a different price than retail. This is just common economics, right? So they're buying them at a lower cost and they're selling them at a higher price. And then if they can't move them, that's why you see some states we've never had $50 cabinets here in Michigan. In even our Sam's Club, they're $300, where somewhere else they've been 200, 150 in these lower prices. Those never happen here.
It's very
Uh,
regional.
yeah, yeah, yep. And so the people here are willing to sell those things. Now here's a fact. With my Sam's Club, I see at games. I may see at games pinballs, the cabinets for the ultimate, the mini. I may see the cocktail tables for Arcade One Up. I definitely saw the Blitz. But when the Blitz first came out, when I bought mine, they didn't even have them in the store. They never had them on the floor. They had them in the back. You had to go online to buy them. You didn't even know they existed. Uh, I never saw them on the floor until just a couple of weeks ago, and they were at the initial price. I think they were $100 less than what I had purchased at the time, and and then and then they were in there at the $300. So when people were saying 150, 200, my store was still at 300, and they moved within that day. I The one that's in my video where my daughter and neighbor was manhandling or trying to get this Blitz. I actually purchased that because I wasn't sure if Sam's Club would give me the difference. So I was going to buy that one and then return that with my original receipt. Um, but I took mine back. There was one on the shelf. So they had two in stock. The one I brought back because I never opened it, and the one that was there. I went back the next day. Both were gone. The only thing that was there was the model, this floor model. And they had that up on the top shelf, so you couldn't actually play it, or it wasn't even powered on. So they moved the cabinets moved here at Sam's Club. The Walmarts here in Michigan, I haven't seen Arcade One Up cabinet. They used to have a dedicated aisle. Uh, they haven't had that in years, and sometimes they'll just have them on a pallet in the middle of the aisle and sell them that way. But I haven't seen one in my local Walmarts for a long time now.
I think that Walmart's are getting out of the business of selling in the location. I think you'll see the Pac-Man, maybe Street Fighter, maybe Mortal Kombat, but like the specialties like the Blitz and other cabinets, I don't think you're gonna see those in the stores anymore because they just take up too much space. Too much space. You want something that's really recognizable in terms of IP that you could just grab and go at the cheapest price, which is that entry level price of the $299 or $315 nowadays. I think that's going to be the way of the world. We're going to see all these online here going forward.
Oh, Mad Dance is in the.
He's in the chat. Yo, your chat is going, and there's a bunch of some trolling going on here
Oh,
about videos and whatnot. A spectate of unlocking the good screen. One person said if you buy 4 packs of underwear, you get a cabinet for free at his Walmart, and he's in Louisiana. Matt Astor said that, so you see a lot of funniness going on here.
Yeah, so people just being silly. Let me shut this off here. Okay, and let's put this here. All right. So yeah, man. So I'll have more to say about it once I get mine in tomorrow, get it assembled. I imagine it's going to take a little bit longer than the average one. I usually do a what do you call that, time lapse of the build when I do mine. So I'll do that. So it'll take a little bit longer just doing that type of thing. But I'm looking forward to it, man. Again, I'm a novice. I've never really, I don't think I've ever played the game. Now, console, Justin, he had this link. I keep trying to remember what this link is, but this link, you plug in your zip code and it finds the local arcades near you where you can play pinball and things. And so it found this place that's like maybe 8 miles away from me, just simply called the arcade. And I walked in there the other day, and they were closed, but the guy was in there repairing some of the machines or whatever. But as soon as you walked in, there was a Killer Instinct right there. So if it was open that day, I would have played it. And this place, they charge you $20, and you just play all day. And 50. So they're only open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I wanted to go last weekend. I didn't make it. And obviously, this is Christmas weekend. So hopefully this Friday I'll get over there and actually play the real KI. And then I'll have mine by that time, so I'll be able to have something to compare it to, you know. And knowing me, I might take my KI over with me to the store and sit next to it.
So two things I would recommend, because I remember seeing the layout of your game room. I would try to put it away from the others, because one of the things that OTG showed us when he put it next to his other cabinet, the sheer size of it dwarfs the others. It makes it looks like toys compared to the others. So that's something that you might want to think about.
Consider.
Consider it being in its own place, a centerpiece, if you will. Because at the end of the day, these are probably overpriced statues for us, right? So you want to put it in the centerpiece, people gravitate towards it and play. Um, I, you're not a tall in stature, so I want to see what you think about how big it is, and does it make a difference for you?
Yeah, definitely. Now I know the Big Blue is the tallest one I have to date, and then the second one would be the at Games Ultimate, right? Um, so I'm thinking it's probably going to be right back where this Blitz is, and I might put Blitz where the Big Blue is, and put Big Blue on the other side where the Tempest cabinet you see behind me is. So we'll see. Or I may put it all the way at the back on that wall there and move the pinball around a little bit. So yeah, I'll have to figure that out.
I think it's a little bit shorter than Big Blue, because remember, Big Blue got that big ass forehead of a marquee,
Right.
but when you have that girth, it's the big boy it could fit like maybe two normal sized people, they say, on this cat on that deck. So it's gonna make a difference.
Yeah. I will do a video when that comes out. The console fanboys got another super chat.
It's paid code Mystics. MK Spectate. He's basically saying, Code Mystic, get on your job. Talk to RK1 up and bring us that spectate mode, because he thinks that MK deserves it, and rightfully so. That's one of the games that I would love for it to have that. It just hits different, and if you could see people get humiliated and getting their heads ripped off
Now,
like
do you
that.
have the MK30?
Yeah, it's right off the side. I personally call it my bubbles cabinet, because I play bubbles on it more than anything else.
Now, see, like you said, you had a Hadouken. Is that what it's called?
Well, not I don't have that one. I had the yogurt flame.
And see, both of those cabinets, I never even heard anything about those cabinets. Where they just popped up in certain stores, or were they directly from Arcade One Up? I
So
never heard it
so
until to the guys on the show were talking about it. I'm like, what are you talking about?
they were on. You could see them the peasant version at Best Buy. I mean, not Best Buy, Walmart. But there's a full scale one that comes with the light up marquee and the riser, and they were at all the retailers, but they were only online. That was their this year's version of the Legacy cabinet for
Okay.
the Capcom. So, man, it's 14 games. You got your Street Fighters, and you have some good gun games on there, Gunners. It's a beautiful. It's probably one of the best cabinets. Eggs is not better than Bubbles. Don't go there, Mike Cockhurst. Don't go that way.
Somebody said they can. Console Kit said, or Console Fanboy said he can play better than you as well on Bubbles. So
Oh, then he
you,
got a code. He put in a cheat. I know he put in a cheat. I just need confirmation, and when I find it out, I'm going to leak it on the web. Everybody's going to find out about his cheating ways.
yeah, I just never really been a big fan of Mortal Kombat. Now, when it first came out, obviously the graphics and gore and all that stuff was fun. I can never do any of those moves. So, like I said, when it says finish him, I just go like this, and then they just fall down. You know, and it's like, oh,
Uh,
no fanfare. So
I,
um,
I want to tell you a secret.
mhm,
So one of our one of the OGs in our community, Retro Ralph,
mhm.
he loves himself some games. His game is Street Fighter, but he second closest is MK, and he's never pulled a fatality.
No, okay,
So
yeah,
I'm
it's
letting that
I'm
out
a
the
I'm a
bag.
button masher. I'm a button masher. So well, and then so this whole thing with KI with the combos and ultimate combos, uh, that's something I'm gonna have to learn because usually I don't take time to learn anything. I just know this is high kick, high punch, low punch. You know what I mean? That's all I know. I don't the
The good
sequences.
thing about it is that it's not a hard game to learn, but it's a hard game to become
Master.
great in, yeah, master. So it's not a hard game to learn. I think you'll be able to get some wins. You play some of the people on your show. Like I think you could give Michael B a run for his money.
Again, I'm a fan of fighting,
Hmm.
but my 56-year-old hands can take so much buttons. Um, and I just enjoy it. Now Tekken is my fighting game. I don't care about any other fighting game. If
So
they
when
came
that so
out
when
with
that comes out with a pro, you getting it?
absolutely can't have it.
Okay,
Now Virtual
okay.
Fighter and stuff like that, I never really saw those some horrible looking characters. Now if they had a my second one would be Dead or Alive, right? Is that the proper?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dead or Alive. I love that. Soul Calibur, I used to enjoy Soul Calibur. Um, so those games are different. You know what I mean? Um, but I'm a fan of fighters. I'm not trying to be the best fighter, right? I'm just people
If
come
you
over.
try to struggle for that, you're gonna get your feelings hurt because once you think you nasty and you get on one of those cabs, like I thought I was nasty. I played this dude on KI and he did not let me touch the ground. These
Hmm,
people
right.
they're always someone better than you out there.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And these people live. They live for these things, right? There's no way, you know, that you'll be able to beat most of these guys. They're just too serious about it. I'm not that serious about any of this stuff. I come, I play, I go and do something else. So um, karate champ. Nothing.
Karate champ or nothing. And mobile DK said you just confirmed Soul Calibur is coming. Cab confirmed.
Man, Soul Calibur, that would be a buy day one. Um, yeah, now so you had a pretty funny video, and Council Fanboys had a pretty funny video today talking about um, you're done with Arcade One Up. I'm always done with Arcade One Up until they come out with the cabinet that one,
We,
right?
we
Because
all we all are.
right,
We
right, that's just natural, right? We're all done. I didn't need Hadouken or any other thing, so I was done with Arcade One Up.
we all are the Al Pacino in The Godfather. Think I'm going? They keep on pulling us back in. They because they know what pulls on those strings on your wallet, man. Like you think that it's over? They done gave us all these Street Fighters. We're like, wait a minute. Oh, you like Tekken? Oh, we got Tekken for you coming.
If they come out with Tekken, it's a done deal.
Oh,
Now it's
it's
funny. I was
coming, baby.
I was talking to my buddy today because he has the Mortal Kombat one. He just has one cabinet at his house. He has the Mortal Kombat, the Walmart edition store. But I was we're talking about Christmas, and I said, hey, I got the game coming tomorrow, the KI. He goes, oh, what is that on? Is that on PlayStation? Because I just got the PlayStation. I said, no, it's a cabinet. He was like, a cabinet? You bought another cabinet? I was like, hold on for a second. Click, hung up on him. And so I called him back. He was like, did the phone disconnect? I was like, no, I hung up on your ass because you started talking about my cabinets. You know what I mean? Are you my wife now? Don't talk about that, right? So I was giving. I said he's just laughing. We're just laughing. But it is an addiction. Console Fanboy was saying it. It is an addiction. I mean, how many of these cabinets we need, right? My modified vertical, my modified Street Fighter, I can play most of these games on. So really, I look for games. I can't play Killer Instinct on that, right? I can't play, Golden Tee on my modified, right? You know what I mean? So I look for games that betters my game room. I don't have to have multiple. Now, the only cabinet that I shouldn't have bought, I didn't need to buy was Big Blue, because I can play those fighting games on my modified one and put real quarters in, right? And I got it because I thought I would do the online. I did it online for like 2 or 3 days, like, it's too dangerous out there. It's too dangerous. So I haven't played much of it. But when people come over, they jump right on it. I like having cabinets, and that's where Arcade One Up is always going to be a buy for people. Is you can have these multi-cades, if they're going to look generic, they're going to have all these games, but they're just too complicated for the average person to just turn it on and play the games. They're going to scroll through this list and jump through this UI that looks weird. You know what I mean? They're not user friendly. So it's good to have games that they can just turn on and start playing, and that's what Arcade One Up provides.
D-Love, me and you both have the ultimate ALU. We got
Mm-hmm.
every game that we can ever want on them, that bad boy, and then some games that you ain't never even heard of.
Right.
And my wife loves Pac-Man and loves Centipede, and to get her to play those two games on there, she's gotta get a doctorate to get through that. Like, or somebody's doing something, someone's got to stop to go walk her through. By the time she gets to it, she doesn't want to play it anymore.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful thing about the one up thing, is that it's just turn and key. Like, I know that if I'm gonna go to that game, there's 4 games on there, 5 games, 10 games, depending on it. I can go there. My wife can easily, map through it and get to it and be able to play it within 5 seconds, right?
Yep.
That's the big difference. And when you get to these fighting games or some of these sports games, when you implement that whole idea of having online community to play other people, I could play you, I could play, OTG, I could play Console Fanboy, I could play anybody within the community. That's another level that you're not even, thinking about. So One Up has a good thing, and I hope some of those other companies, take note of it. Makes things more simple for us and accessible, and you have yourself, some new customers.
All right, so we got a super chat here from Paul. Thank you, brother. It's a $10 super chat. Say, let's get D Love to 5K subs by the end of the year. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you, bud. Thanks, Paul. I always appreciate Paul. Paul's usually like the first person that comments on my videos, the first one to see it when they go up. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you all, guys. Yeah, Merry Christmas, man. I hope you guys got to enjoy some time with family, stayed away from COVID. Stay well and just enjoy people. We had a great time this Christmas. Stay home for the most part, but we did get out to see some people.
I, Speaking of Paul, Paul is one of those people that's at everybody's stream. He's a super supportive person of the community. So thanks, Paul.
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, I got to find a place for this thing. I'm gonna have to learn how to fight with it, learn some moves, pick my 2 players because you gotta have somebody in the back pocket that you can play, and then I'll get online. We'll have to get online I know I've been trying to get up. We haven't played Blitz online yet.
Oh, we got to get into that, baby. Now that all three is online and they're all playing pretty damn smooth. Oh, I'm coming out for people. Like I already got console fanboy. He's already on the fence about selling his. He don't want to get on that no more. Seeing
You done
me.
hurt him that bad? He don't even
Oh,
want to turn it on.
he just needs to stay on his MK, and if he knows what's good for him. I need to get Mad Dads to get a super sale for one, so I can light his ass up. And then OTG says no late hits, no buy for him. But I think if I get him at the right price, I could get him on there and smack him too.
Well, I'm definitely going to be getting slapped. I don't know how much slapping I'm going to get in. You said people can't even touch the ground. I'm sure I'm going to be getting a lot of flight time for sure.
That,
So that's probably why Mad Dash is telling me to be sender because I'm going to get a lot of flight time in.
so Mad Dads is a professional KI whore. He loves to go in there and like beat on people. Oh, wait a minute. Now he's gonna say that I cheated hard. Oh, what happened to the last time? We didn't have no codes. I just lit you up. Now you over here fake newsing? You fake newsing? Uh-huh. Okay, I see what you're doing there. The next time I see you online, I recorded the last game. I'll record the next one. I'm gonna light your ass.
All right, well, Council Fanboy, sounds like you need to get online now because we might need to find out what the truth of this matter.
Oh, there's no code needed for him. He's on NFL Blitz. I call console fanboy free. If you need to help your ranking, just play
Mhm.
him online. He is he's no challenge. You're gonna get the win, and is always gonna help you build up your ranking.
And he doesn't rage quit.
He doesn't. I give him that one thing because there's a
Okay.
bunch of rage quitters in on the Blitz right now, and I hope Arcade One Up, if you're listening, do an update and penalize those people for rage quitting. Those people need to get penalized
Yeah, they have to.
because that is not cool. Some people wait for the last 10 seconds of the game and just rage quit.
Well, I think we
Not
got to
cool.
talk to Cold Mystics about that, right?
Yeah, well,
Uh,
no, Code Mystic is not behind this one. Arcade One Up is doing the
Coding.
stuff
Oh
on that.
wow. Oh, okay. Okay. Quick question here. What's that?
He said, I just picked up the Legends pinball. I've already have a flash drive with CoinOps X for my Legends Gamer Pro. Will that same flash drive work with the pinball? I don't believe so. I think you have to get a certain image for that. I mean, it may work, but it's not going to work the way it naturally would work. You know,
Right.
you're not.
Yeah, it's been a while that I did. I think you have to flash the drive. The drives are flashed specifically for that machine, so you would have to reflash that drive, right?
But
Because you can't just
yeah,
take it out for it to show up in the interface, but it'll show up in
the games will show up, but it won't have that.
the
It
interface. It
won't
won't have the
be
coin ops
fixed for you.
interface. Right.
Now, if wherever you went Red Sea Gaming for that, there's other sites like, Punks and stuff like that. If you go on those sites, they have specific builds just for the pinball, and you can
Yeah,
have
because
yourself like all the vertical games and stuff.
right, because with the pinball, you're gonna want just the vertical. You're not gonna want to try and play uh,
Yeah.
the two players and the
You know what
horizontal.
game was on there that I don't think is a vertical, but that played very well on it was um Golden Tee. Golden Tee on that was fun.
Oh yeah, because you got the thing. I remember. Well, I have the
You have a
the
real Golden Tee.
Gamer Pro. Oh, well, I got the Gamer Pro too,
Mm.
so I can play on my 60-inch TV as well with the At Games Gamer Pro, with the buy stuff pedestal.
Hmm.
So that's a nice setup. Though I don't if I'm getting in front of the TV, I'm not usually wanting to play arcade games. I usually want to stand up, so that's a little tough thing. But it is a pedestal, so I would be standing up. But I don't play that Gamer Pro as often as I thought I would. I thought I would have it upstairs and have that other option, but my wife don't want none of that stuff upstairs.
Man,
Keep all that.
don't. First of all, that's a fast way to end a happy marriage. D Love, you should know this. You've been married long enough. You don't let them things leak upstairs. Because once that happens, you go that couch is gonna become very comfortable.
Yeah, I keep it all down here. I have had them upstairs in the loft one time when I just had two. you know. But that was Golden Tee and Street Fighter.
And
That's
that
been
changed real fast.
no, her game is the Golden X. That's her game. Again, she does the play. My wife hates these things until she has company over. Then she's like, "Come on downstairs. I got a whole arcade down there," and she brings everybody down. They have a ball. But outside of those moments when people are coming over and she gets to show it off and let them play, uh, she could care less. It's just every time she comes out, she says, "Seems like you have more games down here." I'm like, "Nope, it's the same number. It's the same number. You just haven't been down here in a while. It's the same number. I just rearranged them. Looks different when you rearrange them." This whole thing, I don't even remember when I got this thing.
Oh man! Now, if my wife ever, she as long as she doesn't go in the garage is what saved me, because I have to put it in sections. It goes from the car or the front house to the garage. Then when people start sleeping, I slide that upstairs. I build it in the middle of the night, and then I have those boxes out the next day.
Yeah, they're gone. They're broken down, and they are gone.
Oh man!
I want to show you this here. I don't know if you guys remember this thing here.
So the wife busted him, bringing in the T2. And sometimes you got to take it. Be like, oh, but now this is the other. This is the other deal. No matter what happens, if you do get caught, that cab was on sale for $50. It was a super duper clearance. It's $50.
Yeah,
They basically paid me to take it.
I'll just tell them like you said. John D sent it to me. What does it say here?
I couldn't refuse it. Tell him this.
No.
He sent it to me.
Let me share this here. So this is my at games.
I remember this video. I was crying when I saw this.
Can we just come on, big ol'. Well, $90 in cold cash will help out. A good deed. And this had to be a heavy box too, right?
Oh, it's not a light box. That's not a light box. I remember bringing that up the stairs. It's not light at all. I think that's like a 90-pound box.
Yeah. Let's get through this.
This is real life issues right here.
Yeah, I definitely needed a dolly.
See, at least she was prepared. Me, I would have been flipping the box over on its side, probably damaging some pieces.
Let me turn that off. But yeah, that was funny. I did that little video sneaking that thing in. And I started to do a video because down here I have the egress window.
Mm-hmm.
The full egress window. You can drop down. I was gonna do a video, but every time I get a new cabin, it's always snow and cold and wet. So I haven't done it. I hadn't had a chance to do that one.
No, he said, my big blue was over 100 pounds and I carted into my house. Dude, I remember trying to get the big blue up the stairs. I'm on, I got a flight and then a little lip going up the first flight. And I had to keep on flipping the box over and over. By the time I got upstairs, I thought I had a heart attack, bro.
Yeah, KI Pro is definitely. I'm definitely gonna need some help with that one. That's gonna be.
Whatever you do, don't ask the wife.
Right. Now she knew the Blitz came the other day, and she did the same thing. All she said was, "Why is my daughter handling that big old giant box?" I'm like, I don't know why. And the crazy thing about that thing is, the UPS or FedEx, they dropped the box off right in front of the garage. Right. My daughter took it and dragged it up onto the porch. I'm like, why didn't she just open the garage door and slide it 2 feet
And
into the
she wasn't.
garage?
She wasn't
She was
thinking that. She was trying to be
right,
nice. You know,
right,
a good daughter and shit.
yeah.
Man,
And then my neighbor came and got it, and he took it to his house. I'm like, why didn't you call me? Because you know I have the garage door opener that I can do because he installed one because I told him about it. He was like, I didn't think about it. So both of them went through all that with that Blitz, all that work just for me to come home and take it to the store and take it back.
so wait a minute. Why did you have to take it back to the store?
Because I bought this one at the $300
Okay.
because I didn't know if Sam's was going to say it was too late for me to give you the discount.
Okay. So you
Right.
said I know that I can get it, return it, and get my money back.
Right, and my next door neighbor was thinking, his wife was thinking about getting him one for Christmas, so I didn't want it because I know they would go fast. But his wife ended up getting him like a 70-inch TV for his basement, so he didn't get it, so I took it back.
I think he won out 70-inch television. He could come over to your house
Right, he
to
come
play
out
Blitz.
right. He's like me. He's got all girls over there, so he has to get away sometimes.
Uh,
That's for sure.
oh man, yo, listen. So Red Sea brings up a thing about KI, and it just made me think. It's like you might have to give that that delivery man a little extra. Be like, listen, I know I've been making you work this whole year with all these heavy boxes, but you might have to come bring this into the house. Boom, I'm gonna give a little something, something.
These guys don't even have dollies anymore. They get these big old boxes and they're dragging them. Like he pulled up into the driveway and he just set it right there between the garage and my daughter's car, and that was her concern. But when she told me, she's like, he just left it right in the middle of the driveway. I'm like, no way he did that, but she couldn't remember.
Oh, listen, some of these people, it's the luck of the draw. Some people have respect and they'll put it in a nice place or whatnot. Some of them just leave it like it can't even go the extra 5 feet. They just leave it like in the middle in the daylight and everything like that. Like you never know. Some people might be going shopping in your community. Come there and pick up one of those cabinets.
Right, the porch pirates.
Yep, they don't play. They out in full effect.
But yeah, man. So I mean, I appreciate you hanging out with me to today, Boxing Day in Canada. That's what Michael B would say. But this is the day after Christmas for us. I appreciate you coming on, chewing the chat, and helping out with this, man. Are you doing your video this Wednesday? Or are you taking off
Yeah,
the
yeah,
week
yeah,
for the
yeah. No,
holiday?
no. I will be doing Wednesday, but we was off last Saturday. We'll be off again this Saturday because everybody's got to be with their families and whatnot. But
Right.
yeah, we'll have a little discussion and things that's going to be happening within the community. We have a big influx of people giving up on One Up. We may be talking about that. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm all done with it until tomorrow. That's for sure. The
um,
sky is falling. Sam's Clubs is reducing their prices. I'm like, how's that affecting? Everybody else is still selling theirs at $4.99 without the stool. It's like, come on, people. But hey, when you're short on content, you got to come up with something, I guess, huh?
you gotta be creative. You gotta be creative.
Uh,
Uh,
all right, man. So I appreciate you. Let me know if I might have my cabinet put together. It depends on when it comes. I can jump on and let you know what I think about it if
yeah,
indeed.
man. We would love to hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah, so just shoot the link in my inbox and we can do
No,
that.
no doubt. Thank you for having me on, man.
All right, man. Have a happy holiday, everyone. All right, guys. Until next time, we'll see you on the web.